I found out my fiancé was cheating. So I let the wedding happen smiling face with horns. I found out my fiancé was cheating 3 days before our wedding. And instead of canceling it, I made sure everyone would remember that day forever. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to post something like this. But after what happened, I don't think I'll ever be the same again. And honestly, I don't think they will either. Let me start from the beginning. I was supposed to get married last month. Everything was perfect. At least, that's what I thought. My fiancé, Daniel, and I had been together for 4 years. We met through mutual friends, and from the start, he was everything. Charming, confident, the kind of guy who made everyone in the room feel like they mattered. And me? I was the lucky one. Or at least, that's what everyone kept telling me. 3 days before the wedding, I was at our apartment, surrounded by boxes, decorations, and last-minute chaos. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. But something told me to open it. And that was the moment everything broke. It was a single message. No text. Just a video. I remember laughing nervously before pressing play. I thought it was spam. Or a mistake. Or anything other than what it actually was. The video started shaky, like it had been recorded secretly. A dim room. Familiar furniture. My stomach dropped instantly. Because I recognized it. It was our bedroom. And then I saw him. Daniel. He was laughing. Relaxed. Comfortable. Not like someone who was about to get married in 3 days. And then, she walked into frame. I didn't recognize her at first. But the way she moved, the way she touched him, there was no confusion. No misunderstanding. There are moments in life where your brain just refuses to process reality. This was one of them. I replayed the video. Again, and again, and again. Like somehow, if I watched it enough times, it would change. It didn't. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped my phone. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't even cry. And then, another message came through. I thought you deserved to know. That was it. No name. No explanation. Nothing. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. But it was probably just minutes. 3 days. That's all I had left before I was supposed to walk down the aisle. Smile. Say vows. Promise forever. To someone who was already betraying me. I wish I could tell you I reacted immediately. That I called him. Screamed. Threw things. Ended it right there. But I didn't. Instead, I did something I never thought I was capable of. I stayed calm. Because in that moment, something inside me shifted. Not sadness. Not even anger. Something colder. I wanted answers. But more than that, I wanted control. Daniel came home that night like nothing had happened. He kissed me. Smiled. Asked about the seating chart. And I smiled back. I don't know how I did it. But I did. Everything okay? He asked. Yeah, I said. I'm just tired. And for the first time in 4 years, I lied to him. That night, while he was asleep, I watched the video again. And this time, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. A reflection. In the mirror. The person holding the phone. It wasn't hidden well. And when I zoomed in, my heart stopped again. Because I recognized her. It was Lauren. My bridesmaid. Yeah, let that sink in. Not just a random woman. Not just some stranger. One of my closest friends. Someone who had been helping me plan the wedding. Someone who stood next to me while I picked my dress. Someone who smiled at me. While sleeping with my fiancé. I felt sick. But I still didn't confront them. Because now, this wasn't just betrayal. This was something else. This was humiliation. And I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going to be the only one who felt it. The next day, I acted like everything was normal. I met Lauren for coffee. She hugged me. Smiled. Talked about how excited she was for the wedding. I watched her the entire time. Every movement. Every expression. Every fake word. And I realized something terrifying. She wasn't nervous. She wasn't guilty. She thought she was safe. And that's when the idea started forming. Not fully. Not clearly. But enough. If they were going to lie to me, if they were going to make me look like a fool, then I was going to make sure they never forgot who they tried to fool. Because suddenly, canceling the wedding didn't feel right. Too easy. Too quiet. No. If this was going to end, it was going to end in front of everyone. Family. Friends. Everyone who thought we were perfect. I was going to give them a wedding. Just not the one they expected. And that was the moment. The plan began. I had 3 days. 3 days to pretend I loved him. While planning to destroy him. The next morning, I woke up next to Daniel. He was sleeping peacefully. Like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't just destroyed everything we built. And for a second, just 1 second, I almost broke. Because this was the man I was supposed to marry. The man I trusted more than anyone. The man I thought I knew. But that version of him? It didn't exist anymore. So instead of crying, I got up. Quietly. Carefully. And I started planning. Step 1. Proof. The video wasn't enough. Not for what I had in mind. Because if I was going to do this, I needed everything. Messages. Calls. Dates. I needed the full story. So I did something I had never done before. I went through his phone. I knew his passcode. He trusted me. Funny, right? My hands were steady now. No shaking. No panic. Just focus. I opened his messages. Scrolled. Nothing unusual at first. Then I saw her name. Lauren Redhart. Not even hidden. Not even careful. That hurt more than anything. I opened the chat. And instantly, I wished I hadn't. Messages. Hundreds of them. Photos. Videos. Plans. Not just random cheating. This had been going on for months. While we were planning the wedding, they were planning each other. I felt something twist inside me. But I didn't stop. Because now, this wasn't about feelings anymore. This was about finishing what they started. I took screenshots of everything. Every message. Every photo. Every disgusting detail. And then, I sent them to myself. Deleted the evidence from his phone. He would never know. Not yet. Step 2. Confirmation. I needed to see it with my own eyes. Not just through a screen. So I did something risky. I texted Lauren. Hey, can you come over later? Need help with something wedding related. She replied almost instantly. Of course. 2 hearts. The audacity. That afternoon, she came over. Same smile. Same energy. Same fake warmth. And Daniel? He acted normal too. Like they hadn't been together. Like they weren't hiding anything. And that's when I realized something important. They were comfortable. Too comfortable. Which meant they were sloppy. And sloppy people make mistakes. That night, I pretended to fall asleep early. Daniel stayed up. On his phone. I kept my eyes closed. Listened. A notification. A pause. Then, very quietly, he got out of bed. My heart started racing. But I didn't move. I waited. Seconds. Minutes. Then I slowly got up. Followed him. And that's when I saw it. The balcony doors slightly open. And Daniel, standing outside. On a call. Whispering. I moved closer. Quietly. Carefully. And then I heard her voice. Lauren, I miss you already, she said. My stomach dropped again. Daniel laughed softly. Just a few more days, he said. A few more days. That's when it hit me. They weren't just cheating. They had a plan. And I wasn't part of it. I leaned closer, trying to hear everything. After the wedding, Lauren said. I froze. After the wedding? Daniel sighed. I know. I just need to handle it carefully. Handle it. Like I was a problem. Like I was something to deal with. Not a person. Not someone he was about to marry. Just an obstacle. And in that moment, everything became crystal clear. They thought they were in control. They thought they had time. They thought they were smarter than me. They were wrong. Very wrong. I quietly went back to bed. And for the first time since I found out, I smiled. Because now, I didn't just have proof. I had timing. And timing? That's everything. Step 3. The plan. I stayed up all night. Thinking. Planning. Replaying everything. And slowly, piece by piece, it came together. The wedding wasn't just an event anymore. It was a stage. And I was about to put on a show. But not just any show. A perfect one. Because here's the thing about people like Daniel and Lauren. They rely on appearances. Reputation. Image. They don't just lie. They build a version of reality that benefits them. And if you destroy that, you destroy everything. So that's exactly what I was going to do. I contacted the venue. Made a small change to the schedule. Nothing suspicious. Just a special moment during the ceremony. They loved the idea. Of course they did. Then, I spoke to the DJ. Told him I had a surprise video to play. A love story montage, I said. He smiled. Perfect, he said. Oh, it would be. Just not in the way he thought. The next day, I met Lauren again. Final dress fitting. She stood next to me, looking at me in the mirror. You're going to be such a beautiful bride, she said. I looked at her reflection. Smiled. Thank you, I said. And for the first time, I meant something else entirely. Because in just 24 hours, she wouldn't be smiling anymore. The day of the wedding. I've never felt so calm in my life. And I think that's what scared me the most. The morning was perfect. Sunlight through the windows. Soft music playing. Bridesmaids laughing. Lauren was there too. Of course she was. Standing just a few feet away from me. Helping me get ready. Zipping up my dress. like she hadn't betrayed me in the worst way possible. Are you nervous? She asked, smiling. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for a moment, I wondered how someone could fake everything so perfectly. Then I smiled back. A little, I said, but not for the reason she thought. The venue filled quickly. Family, friends, people who flew in from different states. Everyone excited. Everyone smiling. Everyone completely unaware. They were about to witness something unforgettable. I stood behind the doors, bouquet in my hands, heart steady, not racing, not breaking, just ready. The music started, and the doors opened. I walked down the aisle. Every step felt unreal. People smiling at me, some crying, and at the end of the aisle, Daniel, standing there, looking at me like I was his future, like he hadn't already thrown it away. And for a split second, I saw the man I used to love. But then I remembered the video, the messages, the call, and that feeling disappeared instantly. I reached him. He took my hands. You look incredible, he whispered. I smiled. So do you, I replied. And that was the last honest thing either of us said that day. The ceremony began. The officiant spoke. About love, trust, commitment. The irony almost made me laugh. Lauren stood to the side, watching, smiling. I could feel her eyes on me. And I wondered if she had any idea what was coming. She didn't. None of them did. Do you take Daniel? The officiant began. And that's when I raised my hand. Actually, I said softly. The room went quiet. I have something I'd like to share first. Daniel looked confused. The officiant hesitated. But I smiled reassuringly. It'll only take a moment. People chuckled lightly. They thought it was something sweet, romantic. They had no idea. I turned to the DJ. He nodded. And then, the screen behind us lit up. A slideshow began. Photos of us. Our relationship. Trips. Laughs. Memories. The crowd smiled. Some people wiped away tears. Daniel squeezed my hand. This is beautiful, he whispered. I looked at him and smiled. Wait for it, I said. The slideshow continued. And then, it changed. The music stopped. The next clip started playing. Shaky footage. A dim room. Our bedroom. And suddenly, everything shifted. People leaned forward, confused. Then they saw him. Daniel. And then, they saw her. Lauren. You could hear it. That moment when a room full of people realizes something is very, very wrong. Gasps. Whispers. Shock spreading like a wave. Daniel's hand went cold in mine. What is this? He whispered. I didn't answer. Because the video kept playing. Every detail. Every touch. Every undeniable second. Lauren froze. Her face drained of color. Someone in the audience said, "Oh my God." Another voice. Is that? Yes, I said. Finally speaking. That's my fiancé. I turned slightly. And my bridesmaid. The room exploded. Gasps. Voices. People standing up. Daniel let go of my hand. Turn it off, he said urgently. But I didn't move. Turn it off, he snapped. I looked at him calmly. No. Lauren tried to step back. But there was nowhere to go. Everyone was looking at her now. Judging. Realizing. And then, I delivered the final blow. Oh, and just so everyone knows, I said. This wasn't a one-time thing. I nodded to the DJ. And the screen changed again. Messages. Screenshots. Dates. Proof. Everything. Months of betrayal. Exposed. Publicly. Irrefutably. Daniel looked like he couldn't breathe. Lauren started crying. Please, she whispered. But it was too late. Way too late. You both thought I wouldn't find out, I said. My voice steady. Cold. You thought I'd marry you. I looked directly at Daniel. While you planned your life behind my back. Silence. Heavy. Crushing silence. And then I smiled. But I guess this works out better. I took off my ring. Placed it in his hand. And said the words everyone would remember. Now everyone knows who you really are. Then I turned. And walked away. No tears. No hesitation. Just done. As I reached the exit, I heard it behind me. Chaos. Arguments. Voices raised. People confronting them. And in that moment, I realized something. They didn't just lose me. They lost everything. Their image. Their reputation. Their version of the truth. All gone. In one moment. On the day that was supposed to be perfect. And the best part? I didn't have to say anything more. Because the truth did all the damage for me. They thought they were getting away with it. I just made sure everyone saw the truth.